Hi, everybody, and welcome to official episode number 2 of Gavin and James's War Machine. And this week we're going to talk about
The Jed Panther.
the Jag Panther.
Don't question the accent. It's hard to pronounce, and I feel like it's better with the accent.
It's definitely better, and by our aggressive sounding accent, you are probably guessing that our casual racism for this week is against Germans. Yay, Germany!
We have nothing against any type of race. We just do it for the joke. So let's get into it.
Yeah, let's get into it.
So the Jed Panther, which translated is hunting panther.
Okay, as opposed to like bathing panther or
God, I
Like-
sound like a 50-year-old smoker.
taking a dumping panther? No, okay, so hunting panther. I do know the reason for this historically.
Right.
It's they wanted something to make it sound even more aggressive than the panther, so there's no Jag panther.
Well, the reason why it was called a hunting panther is because it was a tank destroyer, or a self-propelled anti-tank gun built by Germany during World War II.
Okay, so tank destroyer, also often referred to as mobile artillery. They're usually quicker machines, or sometimes incredibly slow. But either way, they usually carried very, very large weaponry at the expense of personnel, room, supplies room, and
Yes.
armor.
Now,
So
Now-
that's a general definition. How about this one?
when Germany had these tanks, not the Jet Panthers specifically, but their Panthers, their Tiger tanks, they used them for all sorts. Like, they would just find a thing and then put it on a chassis of a tank they already made and say, good enough, let's send her out. So the Jet Panther combined the 8.8 centimeter PaK 43 anti-tank gun, similar to the main gun of the Tiger II, which we might talk about.
I'm sure we will at some point.
It's a very powerful tank, but with the armor and suspension of the Panther chassis.
I would point out that you're making it sound like they were just slapping stuff together because they were lazy engineers. Nothing could be further from the truth. It's because of the wartime necessities of trying to produce while a war was going on.
Yeah.
That's why they often
And they
use
needed,
the
they needed something
chassis.
cheap, effective, and they're like, you know what? We have a bunch of those. Let's stick that on there.
And the more they modified it, the longer the production time would be. Our dog could use a Jag Panther attack today. She's being a goddamn maniac. What is your problem, Abby? You want to say hi to the German tank? I will kill you in my Jag Panther.
Now, it's funny to think about when they were trying to make this thing. I wonder, like, the person who made this must have paid attention because the shape of it. Trapezoid.
It is indeed a trapezoid. Is that to? I'm guessing that was to deflect shells in the front. Is that the point of the sloping armor?
Yeah.
Did it work?
Most likely. So, yeah.
Small arms fire.
The type of it was a self-propelled anti-tank gun. Sorry.
No, that's quite alright.
Alrighty. And the place of origin was Nazi Germany.
What year did you say it entered production?
In service from 1944 to 1945.
So just for the last few months of the war.
Yeah.
That's yeah, that's.
It was produced between 1943 to 1945.
I'm a little surprised that Stalin's Soviet Union didn't. They may have. We'll have to look into this. They may have co-opted the design and built something similar after the war.
Probably
Because these were quite effective for their short time.
a
insert.
lot of tank destroyers usually seem to be like a chassis with a box and then a giant gun.
Yep.
Like if we look at
Especially
like
this
the
era
S,
of the early 1940s.
especially the USSR, like S-100, S-100, not bad, and all those other tank destroyers, you might see a pattern. But there was now this isn't something that it was like, oh, it was a prototype and they only built a couple. No, they built 413 of them, plus 12 of them post-war.
12 of them post-war. That's fascinating. That
Yeah.
they were allowed to finish production on these by the Allies who occupied them in war. Maybe they were building them, a couple of them up at some factory so far out in the middle of nowhere
That they didn't really know.
even really know the war
Until they found them.
was over.
Yeah.
They're not still in service today, obviously.
Probably not,
But
but-
I know there are some still in museums. I'm wondering
Yes.
if there are any still in working order. I doubt it, but
Most
something
likely,
for us
because
to-
usually when there's a high number of these made, there's you like because there are
That's
many
true.
working Tiger tanks still in the world
and a
that
lot
are
of
at
the
museums.
parts for the Tigers are interchangeable for these.
Right,
Yeah.
because they were such mass produced. Anyways, there were two variants, G1 and G2, whatever that means.
Gustav 1 and Gustav 2? I don't know what it means either. That's
I don't know.
It's probably something crucial that we're gonna look like fools for not knowing. But no,
Yeah.
I don't. I think
I could probably hear the one guy who knows what it is.
the G1 was the one in the matte green, and the G2 was the one with the Hello Kitty bumper sticker. Definitely what it was.
Totally. Going into battle, examining the tank you just destroyed after you've taken how many hits, who knows, and it just has Hello Kitty on the back of it.
Yeah.
I don't know what I would do at that point. I would just
Hey, being allied with the Japanese had its advantages, right?
Yeah.
So, all right.
So its mass was 45.5 tons.
Which in the world of tanks is not a huge, heavy vehicle.
Surprisingly not, no.
No.
Its length was 9.87 meters, or more simple people like me, 32 feet and 5 inches.
30 feet. So a regular car, what would a sedan be? Like 20 feet maybe? So it's like a car and a half?
I'm not sure, yeah.
Probably about as long as a long pickup truck. It's probably about the size of a big ass pickup truck overall. Like a,
Yeah.
no, let's see double a 4F1 or double a 4F350.
You know what? Let's take a look. We need to find something, so let me just do it. Should we just use the Ford Crown Vic?
Yeah.
Because everyone can imagine a Ford Crown Vic. Everyone's seen it.
Standard 1990s cop car, for those of you who don't know what a Crown Vic is.
And also used as taxis.
Yes.
Many other things.
And quote unquote limos for car services. But anyway, go
Extended.
on.
So it was, let's see. It's, yep, okay. So its length was, what? It's not telling me the thing, but it's like 212 lengthwise. Would that be?
212 what?
It doesn't say.
Inches?
I'm assuming.
Yes. It's the little behind the crack. That means
Alright,
inches.
well,
So-
I'm about as
212 handle in the water. That's the 12 inches. We got about 12 to a foot, so 144 would be 12. So yeah, that's about 20 feet. So it's about a Crown Vic and a half long.
Yeah.
So my guess
Wasn't bad. So I think we've now found the car that we can compare everything to because it is. Everyone
Yeah.
can picture it. Everyone's seen it.
And I think
It's-
for the case of the Jag Panther, it's about being a Crown Vic and a half long.
Not a big tank.
It's a very small tank. It's about the size of a low profile trapezoidal dump truck.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, its width was 3.42 meters or 11 feet and 3 inches.
Yep.
And its height was 7.7. My bad. It was 2.71 meters or 8 feet and 11 inches.
So 8 feet tall. So it's definitely taller than a Crown Vic. Crown Vic's probably about 5 feet tall. So I don't know if you the tallest person in your family stood on his tippy toes and went like this. That's about how tall it was for a normal family, unless you got like a NBA star in your family. or something.
So
So,
could just
yeah.
kind of do if he stood on his tippy toes, could look at the top of it and say,
Yeah.
dusty.
So not definitely small as tanks go.
Yeah, it had a crew of 5. Now its armor is insane.
Really.
Yes. Now, 80 millimeter or 3.14 inches for the front.
1, 2, 3, 14. That's not that thick for a tank armor.
But you gotta remember, this was also
Heavily angled, trapezoid, yeah. So round. Yeah, small arms fire, no chance of getting through that.
100 millimeters or 3.93 inches in the mantlet, or whatever that is.
Mantlet. I'm gonna guess that's the sides of the turret, where if it's spun, which it doesn't.
What
but if
turret? The tank
yeah.
itself is the turret.
Yeah, if it had a turret, like the sides of the top of the tank, I'm gonna guess is the
Yeah.
mantlet, but that's just an educated guess. I'm not sure.
If anyone knows, let us know. Because we probably look like idiots if you know what this is called. But anyways, 50 millimeters on the side, and only 40 millimeters on the rear.
So you sneak up behind it, and you can kill them with like a little Beretta. No, not. But small arms would have a chance of penetration from the side or the rear.
Yeah,
like
an anti-tank rifle would do
yeah, even a high velocity like a 30
Yeah.
hunting rifle could probably penetrate that from the back, depending on angle, trajectory,
Yes, I'm pretty sure the back is
distance,
flat.
all that. Depending on type of round as well.
Yeah, it's main.
But definitely not a defensive tank. Made to deflect small arms fire in the front, and basically just made to drive to the edge of the field of battle and fire off some heavy ass rounds at any thing.
So its main armament, I think we've already went into this. One 8.8 centimeter PAC 43-3 or 43-4, which usually they had around 57 rounds.
So 50 to 60 rounds. That's a good amount of ammo for one of these. If the resupply. Well, how fast can they get a round off?
I'm not sure. That's
5-man crew traditionally in a 5-man crew. Think about it for a sec. If you got 5 guys in a tank, you probably have a dedicated gunner. Which means you're probably able to get a round more than a round a minute off.
right.
So let's say you get 3 rounds a minute off. It's not unrealistic. This thing could be out of ammo in 15 minutes of solid firing almost.
Yeah.
So without regular resupply, again, this is not meant to, like, it's not the role of a heavy tank meant to battle all day on
No,
the
it's not meant to be like right there in the front. No, it's meant to hold back.
It's artillery that can drive itself.
Yes, that's exactly what it is. It's self-propelled anti-tank.
Yeah.
Its second armament was a singular 7.92 millimeter MG34 machine gun, which they carried 600 rounds for. Now, if I remember correctly, it was usually actually in the hull, so it would actually be next to the turret.
Okay.
So you wouldn't have as much range of motion as one on the top, but you could still get moving around and all that stuff. And the gunner would be protected.
And same gunner as the primary weapon, or would a different
I think
guy
it would have a secondary gunner. It doesn't know.
I wonder if the driver maybe had access to the machine gun too.
Probably.
Just so he could be like, ha ha ha, vroom 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 vroom, bang bang bang, vroom vroom vroom. You know, just like we do in the Crown Vic. I mean, oh look, like we've never fired a weapon from a moving vehicle. That's illegal in this state, sir.
Of course, yes. We totally haven't done that.
Anyway, please continue.
Yes. The engine was a Maybach 4? No,
Maibach, like the beer? Maibock?
not a CK, it's a CH. Abigail, why are you looking at me?
Ah, my bad. So not quite like the
An
beer.
HL 230 P30 or a V12 petrol engine, which produced 700 psi or 690 horsepower or 515 kilowatts.
So this is definitely not one of the fast mobile artilleries. This.
But it does tell us its maximum speed, and it was actually fast.
What was the maximum speed?
46 kilometers per hour, or for us Americans, 29 miles per hour.
I mean, that is decent. There are some later, especially like the ones built on the Sherman chassis, they could go upwards to like 50 miles an hour to like 80 kilometers an hour. But for World War II era, yeah, it could keep up with the, if they had, this is 4 years it hit the fields of battle 4 years after Blitzkrieg had ended, but it could have kept up during the Blitz based on what I know of that.
Its power per weight is 14.4 psi to each tonnin.
Yep.
Yeah. Its suspension, for whoever cares, was a dual tension bar.
Yeah, that makes sense. Dual tensioner, sure.
Yeah. So this is the range it was usually used at, so you could probably figure it out. So its operational road was what? Okay, anyways, range was 260 kilometers or 160 miles cross country, but in cross country it would be 130 kilometers or 81 miles.
Okay.
So, and when they say road, I assume they mean like in the streets of a town.
Yes.
Which
Right.
would be scary if you're going down a crossroad in your American tank and then all of a sudden, bam.
Here comes the Yog Panther trapezoid of death.
Yeah, I keep wanting to say rhombus, but it is not a rhombus.
Rhombus is a much more fun word with a bad German fake accent, though, isn't it? Oh no. Maybe telephoning. Alright, we pause the video.